I'm going to get into something else. For them to sit there and say that I'm cyber stalking, I'm like, the hell I am. Basically, I have the right to collect evidence, especially to know. I have the right to gather evidence and collect evidence, especially after I have been uh, poisoned, after I have been drugged and knocked out, after they tried to drown me, after they tried to break my neck, after they refused to take me to a medical doctor when I was having an asthma attack, and after all the shit they've been doing to me for as far back as I can remember. Oh, and just like I told them, I said bullshit. Basically, they can call it cyber stalking, but I call it collecting evidence, and I'm going to collect as much evidence as I can and fry their asses. I am so sick and tired of them, and they know it. They know it. Just sitting there and acting stupid. I mean, it's just like the bullshit of some kind of cheap crap made in China. And that's the reason why, and they're sitting there and telling me that I needed to write thank you notes and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I don't see them sitting there and writing thank you notes. And the other thing is, I found out something. There's something called, what is it, last one in, first one out. And so basically what they've done is they've written the rules to the game where they always win. I mean, and see, that's the reason why they always clear out the buildings. So basically they're the first ones and then they're the last ones to leave. I mean, just when I say they don't know how to play fair and how they have decks tampered and all that kind of shit, I mean that. I just look at it, the more that I end up seeing the crap that they've done, it's just like, it's just like the one that said that she used to work for Smith Barney. She never said that she was still a stockbroker. So they've obviously been talking to each other, especially by the way her husband ended up treating me the last time I ended up, basically, I mean, it's just like, they chose what side they wanted to be on. They chose which side they wanted to be on. I cannot emphasize that enough. That they chose to act blind when I had tears streaming down my eyes. They chose to act dumb. That they chose to act deaf. That they chose to. I mean, that's the reason why it's like when just just like the guy lying. My penis accidentally slipped and went into the girl. Basically, did when I think, I mean, it's just like the and that's also the reason why they end up using the phrase let a sleeping dog lie. They know that there's a store, I forgot the name of it, but basically it dealt with dogs. I forgot what it was, but just sitting there and doing the crap. But seeing one of them sat there and gave me jerky that was for a dog for me to eat. Just sat there and acted stupid about that crap. I mean, when I saw some of the when I sat down and looked at that movie Bad Seed, and I looked at that little girl, I was like, oh gosh. I mean, it's just that movie is one that should open anybody's eyes that wants to sit there and act stupid as far as what they're capable of. her lies, her manipulation, her cunningness, her deceptiveness, her just everything about it. Having fits of rage when she got caught doing the crap that she ended up doing, and just never wanting to look at the source of what the root of the problem was. Mm-mm. Didn't want to interfere with how abominable, how despicable, how repulsive, how deceptive, how how much lack of remorse that basically the mask was forced off of her. The masquerade party had ended, is what it boiled down to. She hated that. Absolutely hated it. I mean, I just look at the ones that have done the things like taking me to the grocery store, making sure that there were hidden cameras there to basically record them smiling in my face, and the other crap that they did. I just it dealt with deflecting the attention off of them. That's what it was. Same thing with the one smiling at the camera at Dunkin' Donuts. Same thing with the one at the restaurant that had crepes. Same thing with the one. I mean, I could just sit. What I'm getting at is, I mean, it was sick. What's really wild is there was a woman that when I talked to, she was I actually liked her a lot, believe it or not. Um, but some of the things that she had to say to me, I don't know if it was her confessing to me or if she was actually trying to. I don't know. I don't know. But that's also where I would say that God, the great spirit in the sky, whatever, um that God knows what's going on. That it's kind of like a heart surgeon sitting there and going in and determining which hearts are bad and which hearts are good. I heard something, I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but that people's hearts are one of the places where cancer never grows. And I wonder if that deals with people having a chance to, kind of like Paul having the conversion experience on the road to Damascus, if that makes sense. But I also think that many times people tend to end up procrastinating, and they're not dealing with the reality that they're not in control. I mean, I ended up watching something where a bridge just like collapsed out of nowhere. I mean, the people that the bridge probably collapsed on thought that they had plenty of time to procrastinate into whatever later on in life, but it's just like the medical doctor that thought it was funny to come up with ADHD, and there is no such thing as ADHD. He was on his deathbed when he finally did the confession that, oh crap. But even then, look at who he harmed. Look at how many people's growth plates were stunted. How many people had organ failure or something else because he thought it was just, oh, I'll just go ahead and invent such and such. Once again, ADHD and a diagnostic code in order to pay themselves. I mean, I just when I think about some of the stuff, and it's like the judge, the master gardener, I the equalizer, uh, the mediator, the whatever. I don't think he's going to be impressed at all with some of the excuses, and I think that because but basically nowhere does somebody have the right to just sit there and destroy people's lives, and that's where it's tied into Apollyon the Destroyer. I mean, it's just like I was reading something dealing with the abominable snowman, and basically the red nose, and where it got the where the red nose came from and all that kind of stuff. And the more I delved into it, it's like they can sit there and think that they're being funny putting the red nose on and all that kind of stuff, but it really isn't going to be funny. I mean, basically with what they're laughing about right now, it's not going to be a laughable matter when the judge uh it doesn't mean that I'm immune from prosecution. No, it doesn't mean that at all. Judgment begins in the church, and that's part of the reason why it's just like I'm glad I never amounted to anything, if that makes sense. It's like I never became a judge, I never became a lawyer, I never became a CEO, I never got anywhere in politics, I didn't become a judge, I didn't become I mean, it's just a whole laundry list of things, but it's just the more I think about it, it's just like God did not want me to be there into any of those. Otherwise, God would have had me in the different positions, or in one of the different positions. It was never God's intent for me to. be a judge. It was never God's intent for me to be a doctor. It was never God's intent for me to be a lawyer. It was never God's intent for me to intention for me to be a superintendent. It was never God's intention for me to basically be the different things. In fact, when I look at the book of Job, it's like Job knew who was in control all along, and Job refused to blame God. And that's where it's like I agree with Job's assessment of the situation. It's like I'm not blaming God at all for what they've done. Mm-mm. And that's the other bit is don't blame God for what the wicked are doing. Don't blame God.